If done properly, online learning can be convenient for students from preschool through high school to college and beyond, and you can actually personalize your learning style. Joining us now is Jeanette Abrahamsen, a University of South Florida instructor with how to log on and learn the right way. Welcome to Bloom. It's so great to see you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So this is a time where, I know online learning has been around for quite some time, but really because of COVID, more people are logging on and they're realizing that this is a very convenient way to learn.
Oh yeah, COVID changed the game for online learning. It was something that people were doing before, but millions of people transitioned to like emergency remote learning at the beginning of 2020. And so even though that was a really rough transition, I think over the past year, people have started seeing that if you have an online learning program that's actually strategically designed to be online, that students are giving great feedback about like how much they enjoy the flexibility, and I think it's important to kind of consider the fact that when we were originally going online, it was just an emergency situation where we were moving courses that weren't necessarily planning to be online and they weren't designed to be online onto an online platform. And so what's happened since is that it kind of accelerated this path that online learning was heading down anyways, and now schools are providing more tools and support for teachers and instructional designers to design really cool courses online that we probably wouldn't have been able to get there so quickly had it not been for the pandemic.
Yeah, it is interesting because to your point, whenever you jump into something feet first in an emergency state, there are going to be some growing pains, but it has evolved very quickly, and this can be, as you said, a really cool experience for the student. It's not boring. I mean, you brought some props along to prove that. What are these?
I did. So I brought a mobile headset, which is something that I'm trying to use a lot more in my classes, and I know a lot of teachers all over the country are now trying to use technology like virtual reality and augmented reality in their classes, because one of the things that students complained about at the beginning of 2020 when we kind of rushed everything online was, well, we missed the social interaction, we missed the engagement. And if you think about what the emergency remote online learning looked like, it was very often teachers, lecturing the same as they would have if they were in person. But if you want to really maximize the benefits of online learning, you can use these really cool tools, and you don't have to have like a really expensive Oculus PlayStation setup or anything like that. These are actually meant to work with your cell phones, and so you would just like pop your cell phone in here, and there are so many free resources for teachers to use. Even YouTube has so many 360-degree videos, so students from home or from wherever can put these on and be immersed into these environments all over the world. They can explore underwater and learn about marine life, and there's so many things that you could do this in the classroom, but why do you need to be in the classroom now if you have something like this that's so immersive? And I think you'll see a lot more of these kind of things. And I mean, this one is like $20 on Amazon, so it's not even that expensive because it runs off your cell phone. But things like this, I mean, one of my friends from San Diego is a professor, and he does virtual reality a lot in his classes. This is like incredible. You just snap this like onto your phone, and it really acts just like little headsets. It's the coolest thing. So there's all these really cool tools that are like coming out now that people are learning about. And it makes learning like a lot more fun. And so I think you're going to see that way sooner than you would have had we not had this like emergency shift to online learning starting last year.
Gosh, I could talk about this all day. Sadly, we only have about a minute left. But do you see more students having access to education because of this pivot that we saw with online learning during the pandemic?
I think accessibility is always going to be an issue when you look at technology, and so the digital divide was a hard thing to deal with, but now that we're addressing issues like that, these will really make learning more accessible and flexible, and so people all over the world don't necessarily have to travel to school to have access to these things. And you'll see a lot of almost Fortnite-ish style virtual worlds where people can interact in virtual conferences and virtual classrooms, and they'll get to talk through avatars with people who are across the world. So in that way, I think it's just opening up an entirely new way of teaching online.
This is so cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us. It's so great to see you again, my friend.
Good to see you. Thank you so much.
All right, and for more information, you can head to onlinelearningday.com, and we'll be back with more Bloom right after this.